Jai Hind, dear students. I hope whatever we have discussed till now in the previous topics, you have all gone through it very carefully and thoroughly. So, let us recall what are the things we have already discussed in the previous class. We have discussed about the structure of atom, in which we discuss that any of the atom is constituted or formed of three basic subatomic particles which are named as electrons, protons and neutrons. Electrons are negatively charged, protons are positively charged, whereas neutrons are the neutral particles which do not contain any of the charges. So we discussed about certain elements starting from atomic number 1 till atomic number 20, and we discussed about two different terms, namely atomic number and atomic mass. Now let us very quickly recall what was atomic number and what was atomic mass. Atomic number can be defined as the number of protons or electrons in a neutral atom, whereas atomic mass, which is also termed as mass number or atomic weight, is equals to the sum total of the number of protons plus number of neutrons. So this is how we were able to calculate the number of electrons, protons and neutrons in a given element. I hope you all remember one of the exceptions here, where hydrogen atom contains only two subatomic particles, which is one electron and one proton. There is no neutron which is present in a hydrogen atom. Okay, so now today we are going to talk about the representation of a chemical reaction. You all know whenever two substances undergo a chemical change, they make a new substance, we say that it is a chemical change going. So all these chemical changes are represented by a chemical reaction or a chemical equation. So on your screens you can see that a chemical equation is something which links together the substances which are reacting with the new substances that are formed. And here we will call the substances which are reacting together to be reactants, and the new substances that are formed are called as products. Apart from that, reactants are always written towards left hand side, whereas the products are always formed towards the right hand side. So the chemical changes are accomplished or they are accompanied by a chemical reaction. Every chemical change can be represented through a chemical reaction, which can be described in sentence form and they can be written in the symbolic form. So as per that, the chemical equations are of two different types which are mentioned as over here. One is called as word equation and the second is called as symbol equation. So let us very quickly recall what are the things we discussed just now. A chemical change is always represented by a chemical reaction in which the substances which are reacting together are called as reactants and the new substances that are formed are called as products. And this chemical equation can be represented in two ways, in which one is called as word equation whereas the another is called as symbol equation. Now children, let us now understand how do we write word equations, which is the first variety. So a word equation links together the names of the reactants with those of the products. So you are going to write down the name of the reactants and the name of the product which is formed. So for example, if we are talking about a magnesium ribbon burning, and magnesium ribbon burning which is happening in the presence of oxygen and it is forming a white powder which is of magnesium oxide. The same chemical change can be represented and written as in this manner, that is magnesium plus oxygen. You have to make a arrow here which is representing that the reaction is happening, and then after you have to write down the name of the product. In this case it is magnesium oxide, and the product here. Similarly, the another reaction we can take an example as reaction between granulated zinc and hydrochloric acid. So here granulated zinc means zinc, which is one of the element, and hydrochloric acid, which is one of the acid. Granulated means here it is in the form of granules, so it is not to be taken care, it is in the solid form. So here you will write zinc plus hydrochloric acid, which are the reactants, and then you will make an arrow because the reaction is happening, and then the products will be zinc chloride plus hydrogen. These two are the products which are going to be formed if these two reactants are reacting with each other. So children, you need to know and remember this, that the products will vary depending upon what are the reactants which you are allowing to react with each other. So every time if you are changing the reactant, the products are also going to be changed. So one thing which you can do for better understanding, write down similar kind of word reactions and equations so that it gets more clear. So everyone is required to write at least 5 example of word equation, whatever you know. You may take carbon plus oxygen gives carbon dioxide. You can write down the reaction which is involved in the photosynthesis. You can write down the formation of water. It is depending upon you which reaction you want to write down. You have to write in the word equation form. So this is one thing which you will be doing in your fair copy. Now there are certain points which you need to remember while you are writing a equation. Any equation when written, you need to just remember few of the points as mentioned here. The reactants are written on the left hand side. This is what I have told you previously also, and with plus sign between them. What does this mean? Suppose if there are two reactants which are reacting with each other, so you will put up a plus sign in between the two reactants. If there are 3, you will put up the plus sign in between each of the reactant. Second point says the products are written on the right hand side with plus sign between them. As like we were writing the reactants towards the left hand side with a plus sign. If there are more than one product, we will write it towards the right hand side again with a plus sign. Third point says an arrow separates the reactant from the products. You can see this is called a single headed arrow which is moving in a single direction, unidirectional. There are certain chemical reactions where the arrow can be bidirectional. They can be showing the reaction to be happening in both the direction, but in most of the cases this is the arrow which you are supposed to use. So this arrow is separating the reactants from the products. You cannot put an equals to sign. You have to make a long arrow in between the reactant and the products. Fourth one is saying the direction of the arrow head points towards the product. So if you reverse the direction of this arrow, you will not be able to write the products correctly. So in the case, whenever you are writing any of the equation, you have to make the arrow towards the side of the products. So these are 4 major things which has to be remembered whenever we are writing any of the equation. Okay, now when it comes to writing symbol equation, just recall the symbol which I had talked in the previous class also for the different elements. Like the hydrogen was symbolized as H for its atom. Similarly, the carbon was represented by a symbol C. So similarly, we are going to represent the equation with the symbol of each of the reactants and the products. So a chemical equation can also be described in terms of symbols and formula of the reactants and products taking part in a particular reaction. And because we are describing that reaction in terms of its symbol. That's why it is called as symbol equation. A symbol equation may be defined as a brief representation of a chemical reaction in terms of symbols and formulae of the substances involved in a symbol equation. The symbol and formula of the elements and compounds are written instead of their word names. So, children, you need to know why are we required to write these symbol equations, because sometimes whenever we write down the word equation, it is quite long. So to make it short, to make it more convenient for the writing, we use the symbols of the different substances which are reacting and which are being formed. Let us take the same example to represent the equations in the symbol form. So previously we talked about the burning of magnesium ribbon in oxygen to form a white powder, and it is forming magnesium oxide. This was the word equation for this reaction. Now the same thing can be represented in the symbol form as like this. Here magnesium symbol is Mg, capital M, small g, plus oxygen. You might be confused why it is written O2, why it is not written as O. So let me tell you, whenever we write, the oxygen molecule is to be written. Why? Because atomic oxygen does not exist. Whatever oxygen we have in the presence of our atmosphere, it is in the form of molecule of oxygen and not the atom of oxygen. So you will write Mg plus O2, then you will put an arrow which is symbolizing the formation of product, and the magnesium oxide's formula is MgO, where M has to be written capital, small g, and then capital O. So this is magnesium oxide, which is the white colored powder which was formed by the burning of magnesium ribbon in the presence of oxygen. Similarly, just recall this reaction where granulated zinc was reacting with hydrochloric acid to form zinc chloride plus hydrogen gas. The same thing if we want to represent in the form of symbol equation, zinc's symbol is Zn, capital Z, small n. Hydrochloric acid is HCl, capital H, capital C, small l. You cannot write this L as capital L. Pay attention on this. Then you will make an arrow, and the zinc chloride's formula is ZnCl2 and hydrogen gas formula is H2. So the same reaction which can be written in this way by word equation can also be represented by this way in the symbol equation form. Both are giving you the same meaning, but the way of representation in one was in the word equation form, and in this it is the symbol equation form. So I hope you will be able to write down the examples of the symbol equation on your own. So another thing what you should be doing, whatever examples you are writing here as the word equation form, the same you can represent in the form of the symbol equation, so that you are very clear about writing the word equation and the symbol equation. Okay children, now we will also try to make the reaction more informative by indicating the physical states of that particular substance which is getting involved in a particular reaction. So in order to make the chemical equation more informative, the physical states are also mentioned with the help of certain symbols which are known as state symbols. Okay, so like suppose if I ask you what is the formula of water, I hope everyone must be knowing that it is H2O. What if I ask you what is the formula of water vapor which is formed? Then you might say that it is H2O. And then if I ask you what is the formula of that ice which we put in our freezers, it is again H2O. So if they all are H2O, how are we going to understand if anyone asks us to differentiate between all these three by writing them with the help of their symbols? That is the formula, that is H2O here. So for the same we are going to use these state symbols. So If we are asked which is the solid one, like for ice you can write small s. This is not capital S, this is small s, which is representing the solid state. That means if anything is undergoing a chemical reaction, so whether it is towards the reactant side or it is present towards the product side and is in the form of the solid form, so you will write small s in a bracket. This is not capital S, this is small s. Just remember, this is very important. Then if it's something is getting produced in the liquid form or liquid state, we will just write a small l in a bracket which represents the liquid state. Similarly, for gaseous state, we can write down small g for the in a bracket for the same. Now there is one more. It is small a small q for aqueous solution. And what do we mean by aqueous solution? Any solution when prepared in water. Like suppose if you are taking the common salt, the salt which we are using at home, and you are dissolving it in water. So we are preparing the aqueous solution of that salt. If you are taking some sugar and dissolving it in water, we are preparing aqueous solution of the sugar. So AQ represents that substance has been dissolved in water for its solution preparation. So these are the four main ones which you have to remember. Okay, now apart from that, sometimes a gas, if evolved in a reaction, it will be symbolized by an upward arrow. Now you might get confused that whether we have to write this upward arrow or we can write small g. So just remember that this upward arrow is always used to show a gas which is formed towards the product side. It will never be evolved in the reactant side. So whenever a gas is formed towards the product side, we will use an upward arrow. And if we are using any gas towards the reactant side, we will just write small g in front of that, of the formula of that particular gas. So that is how you can differentiate. You can always write G in place of an upward arrow, but it would be more better if you write an upward arrow towards the product side and a small g towards the reactant side. Now here, why this arrow is showing or pointing in the upward direction? You all know that gases always tends to go in the upward direction, and because of which what happens, this arrow is pointing out up towards the upward direction. Similarly, sometimes what happens during a reaction, a insoluble solid substance is formed which gets deposited on the bottom of the test tube or the reaction mixture. So that is represented as precipitate. It is called as precipitate. Don't get confused with a precipitation. It is precipitate, that solid insoluble substance which gets formed by the during the reaction and gets settled at the bottom is called as precipitate. It may also be referred to as PPT. It's precipitate and it is represented by a downward arrow. The reason again, because it is a solid insoluble substance and a solid always tends to go and settle at the bottom. That's why it is represented with a downward arrow, and a gas which is evolved is always shown with the upward arrow. So let's take one example here. Suppose here two sodium atoms. Two sodium atom is undergoing reaction with water. You can see sodium, because it is solid, it is written here with small s. A plus sign is given in between water and sodium. Na is sodium here. Since water we are taking in the liquid form, we have written small l in bracket. Then we will make an arrow and the product form is sodium hydroxide, which is in the aqueous form. And that's why it is written as AQ. And along with that, it's written plus H2, that is hydrogen gas. So hydrogen gas symbol, state symbol, what is it written? You can see small g because it is a gas, or since it is formed towards the product side, it is made with an upward arrow. So that is how the reaction tells us the complete information about the reactants and the products. Don't get confused with why 2 and this 2 and this 2 is written over here. So it is called as balancing of equation, which you will be studying and learning in the next class. So for now, you just need to know the names of the elements, the formula of the few elements, and the reaction and their representation. Second is AgNO3, and AgNO3 is the silver nitrate here. It's written AQ, that is aqueous form, plus NaCl, that is sodium chloride, again AQ, that is aqueous form. When these two things are reacting with each other, with the help of an arrow we have written it, the product's form will be AgCl, that is silver chloride. This is the precipitate form, which is the insoluble solid substance, which has been indicated with a downward arrow. Plus, along with that, there is formation of one more product, that is NaNO3, sodium nitrate, which is in the aqueous form. So this is how the complete representation of a chemical equation takes place with the help of the symbols and the state symbols, and writing the two reactants towards the left hand side, writing the products towards the right hand side, and making an arrow in between the reactants and the products to separate them. So these are the things which you have to learn in basic concepts of chemistry in class 7. Please go through all the contents once again from the starting, so that you are able to understand what are the things we have discussed till now. And then in the next class we will be discussing the exercises related to the same. So please practice all the things which we have discussed. Write down the equations, try it on your own so that you learn it. Thank you everyone. Jai Hind. Stay happy.